Even before the birth of man, the salmon had established its perpetual rebirth in the natural order. It continues to this day, essentially unchanged, only a little less certain than it ever has been. High in the mountains, as far as 1,000 miles from the sea, eggs become life under the nursing flow of the streams. Buried in loose gravel, they must withstand the hazards and floods of unpredictable winter. The survivors become aileron and then fry. Ultimately, the new salmon emerge and rise to the surface for their first and perhaps most dangerous migration. Some species will head directly for the open ocean, using the rivers as travel routes. Others will spend as long as 2 years in freshwater streams and lakes, growing and preparing for the ordeal of ocean survival. Sooner or later, all species will converge on the estuaries, pausing to become accustomed to the ocean's salinity in the fertile, brackish waters. When they are ready to go, they move fast and far, north to the Gulf of Alaska and west into the Pacific. There they remain, in some cases, migrating north and south with the seasons until maturity approaches, and it is time to seek out the rivers again. The river of birth is the river of return. Each species, each race within species will, with uncanny precision, seek out its own particular spawning area. Traveling in schools, they will overcome incredible obstacles in their effort to return to the stream beds of their origin. When they arrive, if they arrive, the female will search out a suitable site, spoon out a nest up to 18 inches deep in the gravel, and deposit her eggs. The male fertilizes them immediately, and the female quickly covers them. The process is repeated in several locations until it is complete, over a period of weeks. With spawning accomplished, the salmon's life is over. It dies within days, its flesh a special treat for the eagles, bear, raccoon, and myriad other wildlife scavengers that have gathered for the feast. The cycle is complete. The mystery of the salmon runs has always been a source of fascination and spiritual reaffirmation for mankind. The returning salmon were welcomed, protected, and venerated by their people. They were also fished in great numbers. The Aboriginal people of the Pacific Slope were skillful and ingenious, using spears, gaffs, lines, weirs, traps, and nets. They ran their catch into the millions of pounds. The surplus was traded with interior peoples. There was wealth and leisure, art and harmony. Many of their descendants continue in these old ways to this day, fishing and preserving the salmon and cherishing the customs associated with them according to the ancient traditions. The arrival of the white man on the Pacific coast produced a fundamental change in the relationship between man and salmon. The introduction of canning in the 1860s transformed the fish from a local resource to an international commodity. In 1876, there were 3 canneries on the Fraser River. By 1900, there were 90, turning out as much as 100 million pounds of canned salmon annually. Ironically, it wasn't the fishing that nearly destroyed the revered and profitable salmon runs of the Fraser. It was technology. Technology and the advancing presence of the railway, driving inexorably for the sea like the young salmon themselves. Pausing to negotiate Hell's Gate Canyon in 1913, railway builders dumped millions of tons of rock into the Fraser River. In 1914, blasting sent gigantic slabs of cliffside into the gorge, blocking it. The salmon run was stopped cold. The sockeye run of 1913 had totaled 37 million fish, the largest run in living memory. It was never to be repeated. By the 1920s, in spite of efforts to clear the debris, the catch had declined to a small fraction of its original size.
Since then, we have developed other fisheries to augment the diminished Fraser catch. From Cape Flattery to the Dixon entrance, in every area where salmon are bountiful, operations are now fully established. Advances in navigation and fishing gear have led to an industry so deadly efficient that it must often be restricted to a few hours or days on any given run. At the same time, the salmon resource has become more valuable than ever. Sockeye, chum, pink, and coho are the backbone of a $500 million industry which supports 2/3 of Western Canada's nearly 10,000 fishermen and 2,500 allied workers. The Chinook, weighing in at 30 kilograms and more, is one of the world's most highly prized sports fish. The Western tourist industry reaps an $80 million bonanza from the mere presence of fish like the Chinook and coho in our waters. Our dependence on the salmon for food, trade, and spiritual reaffirmation, and its dependence on us for its continued survival, present us with both a responsibility and an opportunity. In 1977, in recognition of this responsibility, the joint federal-provincial Salmonid Enhancement Program was established. Its objective was to restore the salmon to its original numbers in Western waters. Over the next 7 years, $150 million was invested in this program. This was followed by a 2-year period of evaluation and planning for the future. Now, the next phase of the program is poised for launch in 1986. 30 years of preparation paved the way for this program. The success of the techniques involved was demonstrated. The justification for the investment was straightforward. Nearly every improvement we have made in salmon regeneration in the past has paid for itself in terms of the value of the increased product alone within a few years or less. What's more, increasing salmon stocks creates jobs. In the first 7 years, as many as 5,000 new jobs were added to the economy through the Salmonid Enhancement Program. The essence of the program is improvement of survival rates of new fish, salmon species, and steelhead and cutthroat trout as well. If greater numbers survive, greater numbers return to spawn, and the result is a bigger catch for commercial and sports fishermen alike. So the Salmonid Enhancement Program leads to large-scale undertakings like spawning channels, hatcheries, fish ladders, and other high-profile projects designed to provide the best possible environment for spawning, incubation, and return. There is, however, another side to the Salmonid Enhancement Program of equal importance. All over British Columbia, hundreds of smaller-scale projects now engage some 7,000 volunteers in efforts to improve the salmon streams, stream rehabilitation, or the removal of obstructions, the placement of rearing aids for fry, counting, tagging, and raising fry, building incubation boxes, almost any task imaginable related to salmon enhancement. There is surprising enthusiasm for these seemingly insignificant tasks. The reasons are not hard to find. At the very least, it is enlightened self-interest. If the fish stocks increase, the fishing picks up, the local economy improves, and everybody benefits. But usually, it goes deeper than that. When you have done something to enhance life, and you see your efforts bear fruit, it is cause for joy. In addition to all its other benefits, the Salmonid Enhancement Program is bringing this kind of joy to the thousands of Western Canadians who are taking part in it. These people have a personal commitment to the return of the salmon. As the number of participants grows, and as their enthusiasm flows from one to another and infuses every part of the province, they too will become a vital part of the stream that brings the salmon back to us in plenteous numbers forever, a river of return.